This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me is promoter Kalle Sauerland. Just give me some breaking news, Kalle, off the record. We can put it on record now. Chris Eubank Jr. has had a change of opponent last minute. Tell me about it, please, Kalle.
Yeah, we've had a hell of a weekend. Albert got COVID. We had that confirmed to us, and luckily we had a backup reserve. And these times it's advisable. And we've got the number 6 WBA, Anatoly Muratov, tough German Kazakh, hasn't lost in I think 7 years. So yeah, it's going to be it's a different type of opponent. Arguably, well, the one was number 15 of the WBA and the other was number 6. So make of it what you want. So yeah, Saturday night, here we are, fight week at last, and looking forward to it.
So when did he get COVID? On the weekend, did you say?
Yeah, we got the message, and obviously, you know, there's all these false negatives, negative, false, whatever you want to call it. But we had it confirmed, and like I said, it's just lucky we had that game plan in place to have a top quality replacement. So, you know, it's the fight itself is tough enough for Junior with all the circumstances in the lead up around it, and so this isn't ideal. But with someone like Roy in his corner, always been through things like you know, so you know it's gonna be a tough night.
Okay, so I'm guessing he's flying in imminently today or tomorrow.
Yep, he's arriving tomorrow morning. So we've got obviously the fight week calendar kicks off tomorrow. Looking forward to it, and it's going to be listen. It's just great that Junior's got the activity. You know, the big fights are in the pipeline, like we've said before, but we've got to take care of business on Saturday.
Absolutely, that's live on Sky Sports this Saturday night. Tune in. Obviously, Kalle, I do want to talk to you about the weekend. I'm not referring to Tottenham's drubbing at the Emirates. We won't talk about that.
Talk about football. It's a bad day for football. Let's stick to boxing, Umar. I can see you crowing there. You're Chelsea anyways. You're not Arsenal, so you know you shouldn't be crowing too much. But you blitzed us the week before, so you know it's a horrible time to be a Tottenham fan. You know we started good, but anyway, let's stick to boxing.
Well, let's talk about something that took place at Tottenham. Of course, I'm referring to Joshua Usyk, someone you know very well, Alexander Usyk. Getting really a comfortable decision win over Anthony Joshua. What were your thoughts on the fight itself?
I mean, yeah, people are starting to say comfortable. I wouldn't quite say it was comfortable. I would listen. It was first of all, what a fantastic venue. We got, you know, what a fantastic venue. Not just because I'm a Tottenham fan. It was fantastically done. It was a great advertisement for boxing, and you know, you set that platform. And it delivered for me on all fronts, on excitement. You know, I think it was technically a very high level heavyweight fight. There wasn't, you know, what often is accustomed to heavyweight boxing. There wasn't much clinching. It was clean fighting. It was a great fight. It was for me. I wasn't surprised. I know, obviously, Usyk in and out, having promoted him, and you know, when he won the World Boxing Super Series, we all knew what he could do. That the level of competition in that was second to none. So the question was how he could step it up to heavyweight. And you know, I mean, it looked like he was going to stop his man in the 12th. You know, it was a heck of a performance. I must say, I think the rematch will be very interesting because if you read into what Joshua says, and he's said it all along, you know, he's learning on the job, as Rob said in the press conference afterwards as well. And now the question is, how much can he learn from that? I totally agree with the statement he made that he learned in that fight. You can't replace that in sparring. To be in there 12 rounds with Usyk, and that was a tough night. And but I think he'll learn from it. The question is, how much can he learn from it? And the question also is, what will Usyk do differently next time? You know, everyone was laughing at his red suit on at the press conference, people didn't stop to think for 1 second that maybe he was wearing that padded suit with 4 layers underneath it to hide the fact that he had no weight on him. You know, a lot of people were expecting to come in at 104, 105, 106 kilos. He came in at 100. Bang on. You know, he didn't give away nothing. That was a very smart decoy, a red herring of a suit. You know, forget the rascalness of the outfit, but it was, you know, and believe me, he is, and his corner, especially with that Lomachenko setup, they're masters of changing stuff. So I would not expect it to be a case of, well, he did it once, he'll do it again, he'll do exactly the same thing. He might come next time and weigh 108, 109 and look at it totally different. I think what Joshua said at the press conference as well, I think AJ bang on and that he needs to go next time and be maybe a bit more like a heavyweight and go in and just take it. You know, he was landing, especially in the middle rounds, but he didn't shake him up, and that's something they'll look at, and I'm sure they'll address that. And that's, I know he doesn't like to talk about weight, but you know, if he would have come in heavier, would that have changed something? I don't know. These are all questions that Rob and AJ will be looking at. You know, makes an interesting, certainly an interesting rematch. Although, you know, if you were looking at it from the outside, there is a lot of work that needs to be done there. Is that too quick a turnaround to go? We're talking about February or March, which I was like, whoa, that's ambitious. Almost wouldn't you be wiser saying, you know, let Usyk fight the Wilder Fury winner, so fight Tyson in the first half of next year, and then AJ fights the winner. You know, gives him more time in camp. It's a massive fight, and could also be a variation. And you know, I know there's rematch clauses, but there's always a way of negotiating around that. You know, keep the rematch person, do something. You know, there's always a way of doing it. But I guess they've got their heads set on that rematch. It sounds like it. So that looks like what we're going to be treated to as fans. I think fantastic. So let's see.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you. Perhaps there's a time frame in which that rematch has to be done.
Yeah, there's always a time frame. You have a certain amount of, on a standard option clause like that, you'll have, you know, I don't know, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days to pull the option on the rematch. The rematch isn't automatic. You have to pull an option on it. There's the standard clause. Now, but you can always go back and say, right, you can take a fight in between, will allow that, but the rematch clause for that continues. You know, it and the person you're fighting has to agree to accept the terms of that rematch clause in case you lose. So there's lots of things that could be negotiated around it. 100%.
A lot of people are obviously talking about how many improvements Joshua has to make going into that rematch. But do you believe we'll see an even better Alexander Usyk?
I don't think better, but a different one. I mean, I feel. Listen, Usyk has one big shortcoming, and he doesn't seem to be able to get around that. He always gets tagged. He always gets tagged. I said it before the fight, and if you look, even like, you know, Marco Hook tagged him. You know, Breedis, probably Usyk's closest fight in his career so far, without a doubt. Which many had a draw, or you could have given it to Breedis. You could have given it either way, to be honest. And that fight, you know, Breedis caught him many, many times. And I've got to say, I've got impressed with the way he took those punches at heavyweight. But that's something that AJ will be looking at and saying, yeah, I did catch him, but I didn't do it enough, and I didn't make the most of it when I caught him. And that's what they'll be looking at. So will we see a better Usyk? I don't think you can see a much better Usyk. I'd go with that, but I also believe that Usyk has such an arsenal of weapons in the ring. You know, his footwork, his speed. You know, there's a lot of things that he didn't do in that fight, which I expected him to. You know, he did sort of come to box. You know, he came to fight him, and I was expecting him to work much more off the back foot. Didn't seem to do that. he was quite happy to go in there and have a go as well himself, and it worked, you know. So yeah, I don't think a better one, but maybe a different one.
Okay. Kalle, if Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk come through their respective fights, we could be heading towards a potential undisputed fight between them two. How do you see that one matching up?
Oh, that's a real, you know, I mean, you know, Tyson for me, I've said it for a long time, is the most complete heavyweight in the terms of his boxing knowledge is second to none. His ring prowess is second to none. His ability to switch and switch styles, and you know, we saw it in the second Wilder fight, where he boxed totally different to the first Wilder fight, and he just, you know, he has that ability to do that. Usyk, however, is also very, very, very knowledgeable and very skilled, obviously. So it's a real battle of the. It would be a real I mean, it would be, I said Saturday was a chess match. That's a real chess match, and you wouldn't know what style either of them were going to fight. I'd probably side with Tyson because, you know, they're both boxers in terms of, you know, they're not coming for a brawl. So I'd side with the bigger man, but you know, that's my opinion.
Okay. Last thing I want to talk to you about, please, Kalle, is of course Mr. Lawrence COLY, who was chief support at Tottenham on Saturday night, and as soon as he got that stoppage win, the whole press box was saying, "Let's get Bradis via COLY," including me. Has any discussions taken place with Matchroom Eddie about that fight?
I've had many discussions with Eddie on the fight. We looked at it now before this fight, and you know, there was some issues, EV issues, also location issues, which are still open. But that's, you know, it's something that we're discussing. We both sort of said we'll do one and they'll do one now. We also have a mandatory situation coming up with Jay Octopi from Down Under. But look, it's a big unification fight, you know, and Cody says he wants it. Myra's trainer flew over especially to be ringside for the fight. He was there. And you know, it was, you know, he's intent on those. He likes those big fights, Myra's. You know, he's been in more unifications than most boxers at that level. And he's a 3-time world champion, Ring Magazine champion, World Boxing Super Series winner. You know, like I said before, I mean, you know, there was nothing in it between him and Usyk, you know, in one of the best fights I've ever seen live. So it's a hell of an ask, I think, for a COLY, but he's got to step in. He's got to step it up. And, you know, fair enough, he had a nice win on Saturday night. I think the opponent was matched. Whoever matched it deserves a Medal of Honor. I've never seen a man so set up for that big overhand right, and I think he finished it with a left hook. But I mean, that was nicely tailor-made for him. And you know, he's had a few tough fights, so let's say he deserved that platform. But Bradis is a different kettle of fish, you know. And you know, once again, where do you do that fight? You know, Lawrence, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's headlined bouts big nights before. You know, he's boxed a lot with AJ.
Once, Kalle, against Isaac Chamberlain.
Yeah. Okay. With all due respect to Isaac Chamberlain, Myra Bradis is a national hero in Latvia. Sells out the big stadium here. It's a big event over here in Latvia, and I think at the same time it could be a big event in the UK. So it's something that we'd have to work out where you do it as well, you know. And it's a big standalone. So, you know, that's something that we have to work out. But I mean, I've made enough big fights with Eddie before, and I'm very confident we get it done.
Have any offers been flying around?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we told them come to Latvia, and we said how we would do that, and they've said to us what it would be if we were to go to the States. We're in ranges at the moment still, so you know, it's always good when you start talking in ranges, and those ranges get smaller, and eventually find a deal. So, but to be honest, we haven't sat down and said, right, we're doing the deal now. So that will come now, and we'll see where we get to.
Kalle Sauerland, thank you very much for your time on IFL TV. Obviously, we'll catch up later this week.
Umar, thank you so much, and thanks for only mentioning the football once.
I'm sure I can mention it this week.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, Kalle.
Over.